Last busy period for the club, isn't it? You had that sort of little period off. I know you're all training, but suddenly you got to sort of a midweek game and then a Saturday game. Very busy.
Yeah, we are, but that's the best thing about football. You know, when there's lots of games coming up, it's good to have a little break, but sometimes you just want to keep going. You know what I mean, when you start. So, but no, we had a little refreshing, well, not weekend off, and then ready to go.
You had to be on the bench on Tuesday. What did you make of the performance, particularly of the younger players who had their debuts?
Yeah, no, I think we did really well. I think we obviously played the game that we like to play really well, and I think obviously a lot of them were young, and it was like the first not first game, but first start or first sort of minutes and that. So I think they did really well, yeah. So we're really happy with it.
When they're training with you, do you sort of put an arm around them a little bit to guide them? You know, you're an experienced player, you probably don't feel like that yourself, but compared to them you are. Do you think as a squad you try and help them through as well?
I don't think necessarily we do it I think we all do it to each other, so it doesn't mean some will come and do that to me and I will try to do that to others. I think we're a really good squad as a whole, so obviously some of the younger lads, they might not have played as many league games that some of us might have done, but I think we all do it to each other. I think we're a good group like that, so yeah.
And I guess you understand, having been in that position when you were at Stoke, for example, what it's like as a young player trying to make your way.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's probably, obviously it's always tough, but that's probably one of the toughest periods. When you have to graft every single day in training. Obviously you still have to do that. I'm not saying that, but when you really just want to do everything you can to gain a team. So it's a tough period, but then when you look back, you always get better in that period as well. So yeah.
You're obviously without Tyler Walker and Ben House. Have you been doing much work in training to try and mitigate that and try and find different ways to play without necessarily a traditional number 9?
I don't think so. I don't think anything's really changing. I think I do think we're just doing the same thing. We've got a good squad, so obviously we really got it about obviously Tyler and House and all that stuff. But obviously we've got a squad, so we're just sort of doing the same thing that we're always doing. But then somebody else is just in there doing their best up there, so yeah.
I've seen you play quite a lot. You don't strike me as somebody who likes to clatter the opponent too much, but Saturday, if there's a Regan pool around, will you give him a welcoming clatter on the pitch?
Regan, well, we'll probably give him back money, so I have to think about that, but no, of course, it's always Regan obviously did really, really well here, and we all like him, still like him and all that stuff, so it would be fun to see him again, of course. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm going to absolutely clamp him, but maybe a 50-50 I'll try. But
I'll give you a great bit of commentary if you do. But he's clearly done well there, hasn't he? And as you said, at Lincoln, he put in he played all the way through, didn't he? It wasn't like he lessened his performances as the season came towards an end.
No, of course not. No, he did really well here, and obviously from what I've seen, he's done really well at Portsmouth as well, which is not really any surprise for us. Obviously, we saw him train every single day and obviously play as well, so that was just what Regan does, isn't it? So
Portsmouth have made a great start. They're top of the table, but actually their form in terms of 3 wins, 3 draws in the last 6 is the same in the league as Lincoln's.
Yeah, but it's really tight. You can see, I don't know, are we 10th in the league now, something like that, and obviously I think we've had a great start to the season, and even some of the games where we have drawn, Bristol away and Northampton, where we probably should have seen the game out, that just says so. It's imagine if we won those games, where would we have been then? But no, it's all tight, and obviously they've had a good start. I think we've had a good start as well, and yeah, just another League One game, which is going to be tough.
And apart from the Bell, Pompey must be a great ground to play at. It's a great atmosphere. It'll be buzzing. I imagine it'll be capacity there, and it's that traditional old football ground that people around the world sort of admire in English football.
Yeah, no, it is. So we played that last season, which was really probably one of the away days you think back at. So yeah, we know that, but they're the games that you're looking forward to in the season, isn't it? The big stadiums, the big crowds. So I'm sure we're all looking forward to it.